All right, welcome to this explainer. Have you ever wondered what the brilliant minds behind The Divine Comedy and Paradise Lost would have to say about our world today? You know, our digital age, our pop culture, our whole idea of justice? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into. We're going to imagine a dialogue between these two absolute giants of literature. We're bridging centuries to get their take on the wild challenges of the 21st century. So, in one corner, we've got Dante Alighieri, the Italian poet who literally mapped out hell, purgatory, and paradise for us. And in the other corner, John Milton, the English writer who gave us the epic cosmic battle of Paradise Lost. Okay, so first up, let's explore how their foundational ideas on divine justice, something absolutely central to both their works, stack up against how we see things today. I mean, the way we think about justice has gone through a total seismic shift. For someone like Dante, justice was this cosmic scale, right? Divinely set up to fix any spiritual imbalance. But today, we often see justice through a social lens, focusing more on things like human rights and rehabilitation. You see, Dante's vision of hell wasn't just about punishment for punishment's sake. No way. It was this incredibly structured system, a perfect mirror reflecting the real, natural consequences of the choices a soul made back on Earth. And this is where Milton chimes in, and he adds this huge layer to the conversation: free will. For him, you can't even talk about justice without talking about the freedom to choose your own path and the consequences that come with it. So that whole idea of free will, it drops us right into the middle of a super modern problem: our relationship with technology. I mean, think about it. In our world of digital surveillance and crazy powerful algorithms nudging us one way or another, is our ability to choose freely actually under threat? This is the exact question our poets are tackling next. And Milton's take on this is, wow, it's incredibly sharp. He'd probably see today's technology as a kind of modern Garden of Eden, a digital tree of knowledge, offering us immense power. The real test is whether we can use it wisely without completely losing ourselves. Okay, so how do we fight back? How do we protect our free will in this new digital jungle? Well, both poets seem to suggest a path forward, kind of like a call to arms for the modern soul. We've got to be aware of what's influencing us, hold on tight to our moral compass, always be reflecting on our choices, and, this is key, actively look for different points of view. You know, all this talk about morality and choice, it naturally leads us to pop culture. Because let's be real, their ideas, especially their iconic visions of heaven and hell, are everywhere in our media. But has something important been lost in translation? See, in their original books, the afterlife was this incredibly deep, profound journey of spiritual consequence. But in modern media, it's often just a cool backdrop for an action sequence or some high drama. It becomes a simple good versus evil metaphor, and some of that deeper theological weight just evaporates. And you can almost hear Dante acknowledging this paradox. He's thrilled his work is reaching new people, for sure. But he's also worried that the core message, that deep, spiritual, contemplative journey, is getting drowned out by all the sensationalism. Milton's right there with him. He's basically throwing down a challenge to creators today. Go ahead, innovate, be creative. But please, don't lose sight of those massive, original themes of free will and what it means to be human. And all of this, it really boils down to one final, huge question. In our hyper-fast, tech-driven world, why should we even bother with these stories that are hundreds of years old? Here's the thing. Our poets would argue that this stuff isn't just a dusty old book on a shelf. No, it's a vital toolkit for living right now. It's a mirror that shows us who we are and a beacon that can offer some guidance. It helps us think critically, build empathy, and connect our own struggles to this long, shared story of humanity. Think about it like this. Social injustice can just be words on a screen, right? It's easy to scroll past, but when you see it through the eyes of a character on a life-changing journey, suddenly it becomes personal, it's relatable, and it becomes urgent. So in the end, for both Dante and Milton, being a writer wasn't just a job. It was a massive responsibility. It's about so much more than just telling a good story. It's about shining a light on what it means to be human, to challenge injustice, and to push society to think, to reflect, and maybe even to change. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. These incredible works are a powerful reminder that wisdom doesn't have an expiration date. In our age of constant information overload,
What timeless truths about justice, freedom, and the human spirit are we choosing to scroll past? The answer, as I think Dante and Milton would agree, is entirely up to us.